Hey gun people, a little morning here. Well, the other day I did a video when I was trying to catch a skunk. I caught a raccoon, so I thought I had a raccoon issue, so I didn't put a towel around the damn trap. Now I got a skunk. Hi little buddy, what are you doing in there? So I'll have to go let him go. My yard's kind of trashed. I cleaned out my truck. I had to get rid of the old truck, so I got me a new used truck. But anyway, I'm gonna have to relocate the skunk here. So I'm gonna do a couple crazy cop stories, and one's about lawyers. So what more appropriate time to talk about lawyers than when there's a skunk around? So what I'm doing here is I'm actually sacking out, or doing a little, this chicken just saw, he's like, dude, there's a skunk over there. That's the thing that's been eating my eggs. So the chickens are just waking up this morning, and they're a little nervous about that skunk being over there. Sometimes they'll go check it out and get a little close. They've seen them before. But anyway, so let me get to my crazy cop story. And the reason why I'm moving around this skunk is I'm gonna have to lay a towel over him. So the more I walk around him and move, he's telling you, look at me. He's figuring out that I'm not really a threat. So when I go get a towel in a minute after I'm finished videotaping and lay it over, he's less likely to spray. Ruru. This is Ruru's morning ritual every morning. Darn it, I missed it. Damn critters always distracted me. I'm gonna get somebody out here. Just tell your cop story and quit talking about the animals. Shut up. You don't like it, get out of here. So as I'm walking around this skunk, he's not threatening me. He's not pointing his tail like he's gonna squirt, which is a good thing. So when I lay that towel over him, it's gonna stop it if he sprays me. I'm gonna walk with a towel, and if you want to see me, I think I demonstrated it on my horse channel. I got a couple things. If you search my my channel, my horse channel, for catching a skunk or releasing a skunk, I'll show you how I catch them, how I put the towel over them and move them. So right now I'm kind of preparing to move him in a minute by moving around. And it's 55 degrees here in Texas this morning. So, okay, I'm gonna get to a couple DA crazy cop stories. So this is actually the same DA I'm talking about. And this guy's a pretty good guy. His name's Rob. If somebody wants to investigate what I'm saying and whether it's true or not, shoot me an email. And I mean, it's pretty easy to find out who he is or to validate what I'm saying. But anyway, this attorney, nice guy, kind of a cop's DA, likes to play practical jokes. We used to play cards together. He's just a good guy and he's a funny guy. He was married. His first ex-wife was like the mafia. He swore up and down his wife's dad and family was in the mafia, and he couldn't leave her, and they were going to kill him. So he always had funny stories. He's always making me laugh. So, hell, I forgot on the first story. There was another thing that I just thought of when I was telling stories about him. But anyway, so before he became a DA, if you lawyers, you can go to the state bar and look up a lawyer's name. And if they have any discipline in the state bar, it'll show what their discipline is. Now, the state bar is a big joke, and they don't really discipline attorneys, and it's all the good old boy system. But every once in a while, if it's so bad, they'll put something on his record, has kind of a message to other cops saying this lawyer was disciplined for doing this, and you guys better play by the rules, even though everybody knows nobody gives a shit. So he evidently, before he was a cop, and I don't know the full story, but I heard something about he was commingling funds, he was given funds that was entrusted to him, and he used it when he shouldn't have, or he took a loan from money that was for, I don't know all the legalities, but he got disciplined. So if you pulled up his bar thing, it said license, disciplined, commingled funds, whatever it was. So they give a quick one-sentence thing that this guy had discipline. So if you look up an attorney on the bar, you could tell if he's had discipline. Now there's hundreds of attorneys that have discipline, but the bar can make it public, they can make it private, they can post it on his record, or they can not post it. So again, good old boy system. Who works? I'm watching my older horse just school the youngster because he got pushy. Good boy, Mr. T, you tell him. So this guy had, a little issue. I don't think he's a bad guy, so to speak, but he had some issues before he came in. Well, then he became a DA, and while he was a DA, he was buddies with, when I say DA, I'm talking mainly deputy DAs. All district attorneys are deputy DAs. There's only one DA. The elected DA is technically the DA, the district attorney, and everyone else, they call them DAs, but they're technically deputy DAs that work. Just like there's one sheriff, but all the deputies that ride the road wear a patch that say sheriff. So the DA is all the same way. So, Ruru, I'm filming. Can you keep it down? So, I got to keep an eye on his skunk because sometimes I'll start moving around. I don't want him kind of... You're okay, little buddy. We'll get you moved here in a minute. So if you pull up his record, he said, well, part of his suspension or whatever he did, he had to check in or verify, and he didn't do it. So while he's working for the DA, his license to practice law was suspended for like 6 months. So if a cop's ability to carry a gun was gone, he would probably get fired. Now if he was buddies with the chief might be able to sign him to desk duty or say, I'm going to use him here, and we're not going to fire him because he can't carry a gun. Ruru, leave that chicken alone. So the DA, who's ever in charge, can always change the rules. It depends on what they want to do. Well, this DA, Rob, was buddies with the DA, so the DA didn't fire him. He let him work. He didn't have him go to court because the license was suspended. They kept it hush-hush in the agency. So the only people that would know that his license was suspended if somebody ran him on a bar. And lawyers like to check on different lawyers and stuff. So I'm sure there was rumors and they knew and people knew about it and they were talking about it. But so his license was suspended, yet he was an active deputy district attorney. He wasn't fired. Is that corruption? It's kind of bullshit and it shouldn't be. And you know what? I've seen DAs fired for less than that. And I've seen DAs do more than that and still kept their job. So it is what it is. So this guy, one incident I'm going to tell about this guy is him. We were always playing practical jokes in the DA's office, and cops and the attorneys that were kind of, we'd be goofing around playing stupid jokes on each other. Well, this one attorney and him were playing jokes back and forth, and he did something to this attorney and messed him up, and his girlfriend found out or got pissed. So that attorney was pissed at him. So for his joke, this attorney goes out to Rob's car. I think he drove some Cadillac or something. He goes out and lets not all the tire, but a lot of the air out of his tire. So he'd have a flat, kind of a halfway flat tire, and thought that would be funny. So Rob's driving home on the highway and his tire blows out. He almost wrecks, so he's like pissed. So he finds out that Billy Bob, the other attorney, had let air out of his tire, so he's freaking pissed. And he comes back and he confronts the other attorney, and the other attorney's in court, and he busts in the doors, and they almost get in a fight in the courtroom. The judge is like, whoa, whoa. Now, I guarantee if two cops had did that, somebody went to jail. If two citizens had done that, absolutely somebody went to jail. But two lawyers doing it, we're all in the same club. We all got our bar card. Nothing would happen. So they're like pushing and screaming and yelling, and the bailiffs are like trying to keep them apart, and they're pushing, and the judge is like, hey, you guys need to go handle this outside. This is a courtroom. You should be conducting, and they're like, fuck you, you motherfucker, and they're arguing, and the bailiff gets them out of the courtroom, and then they go outside in the front and whatever. I don't think they duked it out, but there was some serious words. So that was one incident. What was the other incident? I get on these stories and it jogs my mind to other things. Oh yeah. So this same cop. Now this is what I consider unethical. Should a guy go to jail? I don't know if he should go to jail, but this is really, in my book, was pretty bad. But everybody looked the other way and everybody knew it. But trying to prove it is something else. So this guy, Rob, is on a jury And lawyers are always coming back, hey man, I got a good juror, I got this hot juror, she dresses sexy, man, she's always wearing these skirts, I love this trial because I get to go look at this hot woman with her skirt all up and she's flirting with me. So there's always kind of talk like that around the DA and when you're doing trials or when you're working. So you're always hearing that around the DA's office. Well, this guy comes back and goes, hey man, there's this hot blonde and she's smoking and I think we got a connection and we're looking. And, you know, from a citizen standpoint or from the poor smuck defendant, it's kind of like, damn, am I going to get a fair trial? Is this jury going to side with the DA because they're flirting? Hell yeah, I mean, it could happen. And so in this case, he ends up taking this girl out, a juror, while she's on the jury. Before the verdict, he takes her out on a date. Now, he probably shouldn't have told anybody this, but he was kind of bragging about it because everybody knew she was hot. And you know, when there's a trial and you see other attorneys come in the courtroom and they stand in the back and they look around and then they leave, that's usually when they're calling out, yo man, there's a hot woman on the jury in courtroom so-and-so, man. So all the attorneys, when they're going to cases or whatever, they're like, oh shit, man, let me go check this girl out. So everybody knew that he thought she was hot, thought she was cute, thought they were flirting with each other. He was bragging that, man, I'm going to take her out. This girl wants me, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I don't know how it transpires, but he ends up taking her out. How does he contact her? That's very inappropriate. Lawyers should not be contacting jurors outside of the jury, especially not in the middle of the trial. It's undue influence. It taints the trial. The defense would have had a fit, but obviously the defense didn't know. Maybe he did know and he thought his client was guilty and he didn't care. I mean, the system isn't perfect. So he ends up dating this girl, then he ends up marrying her, and he marries her, and the DA, not the deputy DA, the DA is his best man at the wedding. So, I mean, and then there's always this nepotism and this hiring of friends and this, you know, when you work together, I mean, people are going to say, they always want to, you know, hang this big negative cloud on just cops. I don't think it's cops. I think it's just human nature naturally. When you work with people, you develop friendships, relationships, you get close, you hang off off duty, you develop ties and bonds and loyalties that cloud your judgment and you do things that you probably shouldn't be doing. And anybody that says, well, I would never do that, and I've never done that, and I'm perfect, and that's just inappropriate, and you know, you guys are with lives, and you should be better, and you should be perfect, and you live in a fishbowl. I mean, all that may be true, but hey, life's not, you know, a fairy tale, and people are people. So, should this guy be like in prison? No, I don't know what the outcome of I think the guy was found guilty. Could he get his case overturned? Sure. Did he do it? Maybe. Should his case be overturned even if he did it and cost a lot of money? Maybe. Was the DA wrong for dating one of the jurors during a jury trial? Absolutely, no questions asked. Did people know about it? Hell yeah, everybody knew about it. I got my horse chasing my chickens now. Buddy, why are you chasing chickens? So, you know, I can laugh at it and it's kind of funny, and you may find it funny, and some people are going to take real offense to it and find this very, I can't believe this, this is outrageous. And you know, but look, I'm sorry, nobody really cares. Nobody cares when it was going on. People were talking about it. When people heard about it, some people were like, oh man, that's inappropriate, I don't want to know about it. That's not right. But nobody stood up and went, dude, you need to get off that trial. You screwed up. You started thinking with your dick. You messed up. It's going to taint the trial. It's not fair to the defendant, and it's not representative of what we should be. We're supposed to be the good guys. And you ought to be able to stand up and say, I screwed the pooch on this one. I need to discontinue myself. Nobody did that. Everybody probably thought it was wrong. I thought it was wrong. But who was going to jump on the sword, create all this havoc, get a guy that most people liked and think is a good guy fired over this? Should they have? Well, probably, but you know, I'm hoping when some people go, why did you do this video? Why do you do certain videos? I'm hoping to give everybody a little bit of a reality or to see things. It's good, he's sleeping. Be easy to put that thing on. On the next video, I'm going to do another cop story after this. I'm going to have a towel over him. So in the next video, if I'm not stinking and I haven't been sprayed, you'll know it. So I'm hoping in these videos that I get people to kind of think outside the box instead of thinking just like an outsider and wanting to condemn cops and DAs. They're human, they're not perfect, and a lot of them are wrong and they do shit they shouldn't do. But so does everybody else. And I realize that with cops and DAs, when you're dealing with someone else's livelihood or their ability to be free and to take their freedom away and put them in jail, there absolutely should be a higher standard. But how do you enforce it, and when do you pick the battles, and do you really want a system to where everybody hates everybody and nobody wants to do anything and nobody works together and everybody thinks everybody's turning everybody in? And I mean, even when you go in, you probably wouldn't feel comfortable in an environment. Nobody wants to work in an environment like that. Nobody wants to go to work every day. So when you get these society things, that's why I'm a big anti kind of team player, got to work together. The closer and the more you do that, the more likelihood of corruption and covering up for your friends and buddies, because you have more invested. Most people aren't going to turn their wives in if they catch them doing something illegally. Most wives aren't going to turn their husbands in if they catch their husband, because it impacts them. They care about it and there's a relationship. The closer you get your working relationship, the harder it is to step back objectively or turn somebody in. And I'm all about critical thinking, totality of circumstances, looking at the big picture, kind of evaluating the pros and cons, and picking your battles. You can't fight every battle. You know, life's easier. You can, if every time you come in a shit pile through life, you can either jump in the middle of it and stomp your feet, or you can walk around it. Most people are going to walk around most of the shit piles. Every once in a while, you may need to jump in a shit pile because it's the right thing or whatever. But you can't jump in every shit pile you run across, especially as a cop, because there's just a lot of shit piles that you're going to be running into. So hopefully that, you know, I'm not defending the cops there. Everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, right, you're just a damn cop. They're dirty, and you're protecting them. You're one of them." That's some dude. What do you say? All cops are terrorist thugs, and why am I watching you and listening to this terrorist thug? Dude, if you think I'm a terrorist, you really don't have a clue about government. All right, Mr. Lawyer. I mean, skunk. We're gonna get a towel around you. I'll do another cop story after this. We'll end that there.